Hi there, this is Mike Graham with Weight Loss and Personal Development, and today I wanted to talk a bit about my weight loss journey, which I think is very instructive because it shows that actually losing weight is not only fun, but it's also well worth doing. Before I lost weight, before I found the method to lose weight which I used in order to lose 81 pounds, I was searching. I was going through a really hard time trying to find a weight loss plan that would suit me. It wasn't easy. Everybody had a view on the fact I should lose weight, but the constructive ideas were far and few, although there were plenty of silly ideas, such as the idea that I shouldn't actually drink anything, and that way I'd lose my water retention. That was particularly off the wall. Or the suggestion that I try a load of sachets which I had to add water to and not eat except once a day, just rely on these sachets, that was pretty horrible. And various other suggestions. And I couldn't do the scientific bit. I couldn't actually set up my personal laboratory in my kitchen and weigh and measure everything and then calculate the calories and then work from that, because that seemed a step too far. I needed somebody who'd actually take that step for me and tell me what I should be eating, so that the weight loss method I actually used worked for me, because it did precisely that. And my rate of progress initially was to lose 15 pounds in a month. And I weighed 17 stone and I got down to 16 stone, 16 stone 1. 15 pounds in a month. I can tell you, the rate of progress of putting on weight had been about at £1 a week leading up to that time. So I was wiping 4 months off the slate in a month, going down that stone. Maybe it was a bit less, I don't know. But it felt like a mighty achievement. And to actually lose weight at all after what I'd been going through seemed miraculous. It was a bit like having a religious experience, or quasi-religious experience. You know, it just worked. I was hooked. I thought, right, well, I can follow this path right the way through to where I want to go. So I did just that. I focused and got on with it. I lost weight week by week, and none of it never went again at the spectacular rate of 15 pounds in a month, because a lot of that was just losing excess water retention. I guess that's what I'm told. But I steadily lost weight at an average rate of about just over 1.5 pounds a week, and it was obvious that I was doing it. And after a few months, I could really see a difference, you know. My face wasn't so puffy, my stomach wasn't so sticking out, and, you know, bits of weight had come off various other parts of my body, like my thighs, my chest. I no longer had man boobs quite the size they had been, and I stopped looking quite so revolting. That's my word for it. You know, I found it quite depressing being overweight, that what I'd had in my younger years had just dissolved into this fat blob, if you like. Anyway, I didn't like my body as it was when I was fat, and I didn't like the whole experience of being fat, so it had become quintessential to me that I did lose weight. And the method I used, it took me there. It took me about a year, and I went through various phases while I was losing weight, but I never lost the idea of losing weight, and I carried on doing it. You know, there were certain key moments in my life when made me feel really good. You know, not just overall great, but really good, like fitting into the smaller pairs of jeans that I'd had lying around for a few years. And these are sort of totally different fashion, and they had rips in them, so they were particularly pleasant for me to wear. They had a certain amount of style. So, you know, I just felt really good. And this increasingly beneficial journey just kept on getting better and better and better. Okay, so I was not eating everything that I might have wanted. I'm not sure what it was that I wanted to eat that I didn't, but, so one or two things were off the agenda. And I wasn't drinking beer, but I wasn't hanging out with people who weren't that great to hang out with either. So, I was quite happy. It suited me. And, I met a few people I'd been around the pubs with, and they asked me why I wasn't there anymore, and then they looked at my body, and it was fairly obvious what I'd been doing. Because you have to get your priorities right. And for myself, it was no choice, lose weight or just die. And my personality changed. The whole journey was just high, new highs, just feeling great. And there's this really beautiful sunny summer as well, which helped. And my life really picked up as a whole because this thing rubbed off. I felt more confident. I felt happier. I felt more self-belief. Just, better. It was brilliant. So, that was it. My weight loss journey. It took me to a point where I was 5 stone 8 lighter than when I'd started. And the method I used, I then put into a program. Well, quite a few years later, I put into a program, which is the Way to You program, which I'm offering, and I'll put a link in there below, and you can go and have a look for yourself, by picking up a free PDF giving weight loss tips. And it made a real impression on me. It changed my life and made me feel a lot more creative. And I can't recommend it highly enough because you make an exchange. You lose a few things out of your life, which may not be such a bad idea to lose, whether it's a particular food which isn't really that gratifying anyway, even though you might think it is, or a whole load of beer, which, again, isn't that gratifying. It takes care of what you're going to do in the evening and you think you're having meaningful times with people. But when you leave that environment, it doesn't really matter. Or at least it didn't matter to me, and I was quite happy to take it. So anyway, if it's a journey that interests you, and if you need to lose weight, I can't think why it wouldn't interest you, and follow the method that I used, and well, the link is below, so please go and have a look because I can't recommend it highly enough.